Back in 2004, I think it was, I was contacted by the owner of a large aquatic centre local to me. Now, they'd been given my details by a local aquatics importer stroke distributor that thought I might be able to help them out. What had happened is the previous aquatics manager had, how shall I put it, been let go. There'd been an audit of stock and some £60,000 worth of stock was missing and unaccounted for. Now, during his tenure there, he'd installed the current aquatic centre that had all the aquatic systems. And since him leaving, they discovered all was not well. In fact, I think it's fair to say it was the aquatic equivalent of H.H. Holmes' Castle of Death. They offered me a short-term job, basically to get the current aquatic centre up and running as best as it could be, and at the same time they wanted me to design and build a complete new state-of-the-art aquatic centre in a brand new building that was yet to be built. It was one of those opportunities that only comes along once in a lifetime, and I couldn't resist it. The body shop that I owned at the time was more or less running itself. I could trust the staff, and so I accepted their offer. Part of my duties while I was there was to act as an aquatics manager, supervising the retail side of the business and knocking it back into shape. This particular aquatic centre was the biggest marine fish and coral retailer for about a 50-mile radius, and within a few short months the place was jam-packed on a weekend. You would get quite literally dozens of people a day marvelling at the marine life that we stocked and wanting to get into the hobby, but then balking at the cost of setting up even maybe a 50-gallon reef aquarium. And then there was the problem of space. Not everyone has room for something that size. Now, I'd been playing around with NANO Reefs for about 5 years. It was a sort of a dirty secret because the aquatics industry, by and large, didn't approve of such small reef aquariums. But it did strike me that this was the perfect way to get people into the hobby, a way that could be very successful if they would just follow a few simple rules. So I put a small systemised reef aquarium together and I set one up in the entrance to the aquatic centre. For around about £120, I managed to put together a complete kit which included the aquarium, the lighting, the filtration, live rock, sand, salt and a hydrometer, everything that was required to get someone going in the hobby. It was a small 70-litre aquarium, small enough to be accommodated in your average office, kitchen, bedroom, wherever you wanted to put it. I provided them with printed instructions on exactly how to set it all up, and in with the price we provided free water testing to get them through the cycling process and for getting the first few fish in. It was a huge success. We would literally sell 20 aquariums a day over the weekend. And okay, there were a few that were incapable of following the instructions and just basically couldn't get it. But 90% of those people that took these little aquariums on succeeded. Now this stirred up a bit of a hornet's nest. It became the subject of conversation on all the popular reef keeping forums of the time, with all the armchair experts labelling these little systems as being cruel, irresponsible, unsustainable, and that such small reef systems were doomed to fail. But they didn't. The aquatic centre was even reported to the local authority responsible for pet shop licensing and to the RSPCA. The aquatic centre was visited by the relevant authorities. I showed them healthy, thriving nano aquariums. I even performed water tests for them to show them that everything was exactly as it should be. And they left happy. And the rest, as they say, is history. 16 years have passed and nano reefs are now considered a perfectly acceptable way of starting off in the marine keeping hobby. Now, this series of videos is aimed at the absolute novice. And the videos are, if you like, a sort of video version of those list of instructions that I used to give out to customers with their systems 16 years ago. If you were hoping this is going to be a video where I just show you all the equipment in one go, then show you how to set it up, as so many other YouTubers have done, I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed. The actual setting up of this aquarium is going to be some weeks down the line. For the next few episodes, I'm going to show you the equipment that I've chosen, give you a detailed description of what it is and what it does and basically what I think of it, and then later on in the series we'll get to the point where we bring all this equipment and knowledge together and breathe life into a new nano reef. That way nothing is left to the imagination and you'll be fully equipped with all the basic tools and knowledge required before you put the first drop of water in that tank. And in this video, part 1, we're going to take a detailed look at the actual aquarium itself. For this project, I chose the FLUVAL EVO 13.5 aquarium. This is what's known as a systemised aquarium in that the filtration and the lighting are integrated into it as a standalone product. It has a total water holding capacity of 52 litres. Or 13.5 US gallons, which in Imperial works out to just over 11 gallons. It's been specifically designed to fit comfortably on a desktop, a countertop, a coffee table, anything like that. It's approximately 56 centimetres long, 30 centimetres wide, and 32 centimetres tall, not including the hood. At first glance it is a fairly sort of classical, conventional aquarium design, until you realise that the filter compartments are arranged at one end of the tank, which means they obviously intended it to be used as a sort of a peninsular aquarium, in that it's designed to be viewed from three sides rather than just from one side, a concept that lends itself particularly well to use on a desktop. FLUVAL are a well-known name in the aquarium hobby, and although there are similar capacity systemised aquariums on the market, probably for a lower price, this model has been on the market long enough to gain a very good reputation for both quality and performance, and it seems to be widely available around the world. It comes complete with an integrated sort of plinth or stand, which does give the aquarium a sort of a floating look once it's set up, but more importantly, the gap between the bottom of the tank and the surface that it sits on allows for easy cleanup after the inevitable splashes and spills while you're working on the tank, and helps to prevent salt creep getting underneath the bottom of the tank and causing damage to any wooden tabletops or counters. A general rule of thumb says that the circulation or turnover of the total tank volume through the filter should be around 10 times per hour for a saltwater aquarium, and to that end FLUVAL supply a 500 litre per hour circulation pump, which gives an hourly turnover rate of just under 10 times an hour. It is sufficient to run this system perfectly fine, but through experience I've found that a turnover rate of 20 times plus per hour will give much better results, and I will be modifying or upgrading this pump at a later date. The filter at the back of the aquarium is divided up into 3 different compartments. Water enters the filter via a surface skimming weir, which is adjustable for height and is designed to oxygenate the water as it enters the filter compartments. This first compartment is designed to incorporate a protein skimmer or a heater. Personally, I don't like to use protein skimmers, and I did utilise this compartment for something else, and I'll show you that later in the series. The middle chamber incorporates a foam block. I'm not a great fan of these, especially not for marine use. It does come with ceramic filter media and a bag of carbon. Again, I will be modifying this filter later on in the series, but the media configuration supplied is more than enough to get you started and get the aquarium cycling. Now, the final chamber is your pump chamber, and this is where the water's returned to the aquarium after it's been filtered. The pump sits in the bottom of this chamber, and you will be supplied with a length of hose with the kit. Once connected to the pump, the hose then connects up to a double adjustable outlet which fastens securely onto the filter bulkhead. And once installed, this allows you to direct the direction of the water in any way that suits the configuration of your tank. I also use this final chamber to accommodate the heater, and I should point out that Fluval don't supply this kit with a heater. That has to be bought separately. Now, the aquarium comes with a sturdy injection moulded hood and filter cover. Quite a nice, sleek, modern design. And this also provides support for the included LED lighting unit. Now, anyone that's been in reef keeping for a number of years will tell you that even 10 years ago, the lighting for a reef aquarium would probably be about 3/4 of the total cost of your setup. Fluval supply this as standard with the aquarium. Fluval say that it gives a total light colour temperature of 14,000 degrees Kelvin. This means that the spectrum of light in this light will have virtually no red wavelengths in it. It's a mixture of white and actinic blue, which is perfect for photosynthesis in the tissue of soft corals, if not hard corals. And as this series is designed for the beginner, I will be concentrating on soft corals only initially, so this is going to be perfectly suitable for our purposes. The light fits very neatly into the hood. It's also waterproof and is capable of being accidentally submerged without danger to the inhabitants of your tank or yourself. It incorporates a very stylish touch-sensitive switch that allows you to have a mixture of either blue and white on at the same time, or blue only for early morning and evening use. Quality on the whole is excellent. It's exactly what you would expect from Fluval. That's the reputation they've gained over the years. And I have to say that even 10 years ago, a saltwater specific systemised aquarium of this size at this sort of price point was the stuff that only dreams were made of. And it is the perfect starting point for a NANO Reef aquarium. I'll have a look on Amazon and I'll see if I can find a link for this aquarium for UK viewers only, I'm afraid. And if I can, I'll leave that link in the video description down below. I'll also leave a link for a suitable 100-watt aquarium heater. Next week we'll be discussing sand, dry sand versus live sand, and the rock work, live rock versus dry rock. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed it and found it useful, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you do subscribe, please hit the notification button so you can be sure that you'll be informed as soon as I release the next video. I've got such a lot coming up over the next few months, and I would hate you to miss it. Reef keeping is a truly immersive and fascinating hobby. I hope you can join me again next week. So until then, take care.